What's going on, everyone? Nick Gambaro here. Stefan Martinez. We got.
What's up, guys? What's going on? Stefan Martinez.
I'm sorry. It was some pre-show we were talking about and just made us laugh. Listen, you're going to get laughs on this show. I'm crying. This guy makes me laugh. Oh, that's what we're about. Making you guys laugh. But seriously, we do have a lot to talk about. The Super Bowl matchup I predicted preseason.
There it is.
Tampa Bay, Kansas City, Brady versus Mahomes. These two actually played earlier in the season. In Tampa, too, in fact. Kansas City won that one by only a field goal. Will this matchup be closer? We'll see. But the games, first of all, we got to do this, because we discussed this at length. Mm-hmm. And I spoke to my cousin John about it and other people, and you have, I'm sure, who try and knock Brady and say he's not the GOAT, or, the GOAT discussion, that's been done once Brady came back in that Super Bowl against the Falcons. That's it. That Brady is the GOAT. No hypotheticals. What if this? What if Roger? Or what if this one was on this team? Or Breeze did this? Listen, the fact 14 championship games by his damn self. His 10th Super Bowl appearance. He's going for his 7th Super Bowl. Now, he already has more than any other quarterback or any NFL player.
Right.
The discussion, there shouldn't even be a discussion to be had.
Mm-hmm. I mean, at this point, you look at his numbers. Just his numbers alone. You mentioned the 14 championship games. You look at, he's been to 10 Super Bowls. He's won 6 of them. At what point do we stop debating whether this guy is perhaps the greatest athlete of all time? I think he's in that discussion now. Forget about quarterback. Best athlete of all time. He's up there with the Michael Jordans, the Bill Russells, he's up there with the elite of the elite.
Oh, yeah, in American sports, there's no doubt.
And, you look at him and you're kind of like, maybe, football, you take a little bit of a grain of salt because he doesn't play defense. So maybe that waters the argument a little bit. But he is perhaps the most distinguished player to ever play his position. And this includes Terry Bradshaw. This includes Joe Montana. This includes a list of great quarterbacks, Lynn Swann. Roger Staubach. This includes some very high-profile names that played this position. So let's just understand something. If you want to say, well, he's not the greatest, well, he's certainly in the conversation. Now, off the field stuff aside, we could talk about off the field. You see what that effect that's having with Curt Schilling in the Baseball Hall of Fame, and that's garbage too. The guy's numbers suggest he should be in the Hall of Fame, and he should be. Now, Brady, I think it's a little bit easier because the guy, big moments, all he does is show up. You can't deny that. You could say whatever you want about how you feel about him personally, but in big games and big moments, he shows up. Two things I took away from yesterday. Number one, the Green Bay Packers, they got hit with an ambush from the opening drive and did not respond well at all.
No.
I don't understand how you let a guy like that get that comfortable in that spot and you don't try and stop him.
Absolutely.
Like, first play of the game, he gets first reception, 20 yards, already looks comfortable. The Evans touchdown, I don't know what the defense the Packers were playing there. But are you kidding me? How do you let that guy get that quick of a start to the football game? What do you have? Like 5 completions in his first 6 throws, including a touchdown.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, man. And I'm dumbfounded by the way things played out yesterday in both games for a few different reasons. But Brady just for all the guys that says, oh, he's 43, he's gonna age. The guy doesn't age. It doesn't happen to him. He just gets better with time, and the more you see him, the more you appreciate his greatness. Now, is it sickening to some people who want to see him fall off the cliff, like the Max Kellermans and all the other people that don't want to see him be great? Yeah, it's sickening if you're one of those people. But for the purposes of being a football enthusiast like me and Nick are, this is something that what we're watching we'll never see again.
No, I truly believe there will never, ever be a quarterback like Tom Brady. We just won't see it. I mean, now Mahomes is amazing. There's no...
We don't know what he'll be yet, so I don't...
But he's still a very young guy. So you got to give his career time, and at the end of it, then we'll judge. But now to judge and go, Mahomes is going to be better than Brady, or for me, it's premature. It's kind of difficult to just say he's going to be better than Brady or this one or that one.
Right.
Not taking away from his greatness.
No.
He is, but
first of all, he's in year 3 of what we hope is a very successful and long career. Let's put some stuff in perspective. He's played 21 seasons in the NFL, Tom Brady has, and has been to 10 championship games, 10 Super Bowls and 14 championship games. That means he's only missed the playoffs twice in 20 years. And one he blew out his knee for. He wasn't even around for that. When the 2008 Patriots missed the playoffs after Matt Castle comes in and leads them to an 11-5 record, by the way. So look, we can do all the prognosticating we want. We're going to see the old guard versus the new guard. In some senses, this is the matchup that we never got to see as basketball fans. We never got to see Michael versus LeBron. We never got to see, Sugar Ray Leonard against, Mike Tyson or something of that ilk. You never got to see two guys in their prime be great. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but Tom Brady's 43 and is still arguably in his prime.
Yeah. The TB12 diet, he, the way he practices, he takes care of his body. And I mean, the guy he don't age, as you said.
Right.
He does not age.
No. Nah, I don't think it's as obvious as people make it out to be.
I think it's going to be close. Would I be shocked if Tampa Bay won? I wouldn't.
No, but I don't think Tampa can stop Patrick Mahomes, though. That's the problem. You got to be able to stop number 15 on the other side. And that brother, he don't look like he's stoppable right now. You know what I mean? Like, he just looks like, okay, it's easy out here. I'm just playing pitch and catch. I got Tyreek Hill. I got Travis Kelce. I got this one. I got that one. But you can say the same thing with Brady. I got Gronk. I got Cameron Brady.
Right. So it's a pretty even matchup, actually, as I mentioned.
Right.
Their regular season meeting, again, that you could throw out the window, but it was only 3 points separating them, so it was close.
I'm fascinated by – we're going to get into this more on Thursday and leading up to the game. But I'm so fascinated by this Bruce Arians, Andy Reid coaching matchup. I'm beyond drooling. I'm like a kid that's like, like, I can't wait to see what they come up with. This is going to be epic. You want to talk about two great offensive football minds? I can't wait to see what this looks like.
Well, like you said, the start of the game yesterday, Packers were ambushed by Tampa Bay. We'll see what happens.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be, 22,000 people in the building. A little over 7,000 of them, the NFL is giving free tickets to frontline workers, deservedly so. They shouldn't have to pay for anything. What they're doing,
Right.
but the game yesterday, it's like I just had the feeling and knew that like Brady just was gonna pull it out somehow, some way. And the Packers, another thing too that I noticed was they really had no response. I mean, they did score a couple times in the second half, but that play those two plays where Rodgers did not run it in, I do not understand. The guy is one of the best mobile quarterbacks in the league. From my view, he had a clear opportunity to just run it in. I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he thought maybe he could force a pass in for a touchdown instead of running it in. And then Matt LaFleur, like, come on. I mean, people have their different views on it. I think in that spot, you got to go for it. You have one of the best QBs in the league in Aaron Rodgers. Like, you can't just kick it and then hope you make a stop against Tampa. I think you got to go for it, no? In that spot, your season's on the line. Or did you agree with that call?
No, I didn't agree with it. But I'll take a different tack than you, though. I don't think Aaron Rodgers runs it in because I think if you look at the way Aaron Rodgers was thinking about it, he wasn't even looking at running in the end zone. He wanted to make the pass. If he had put his eyes down the field and took it off the wide receiver, he might have saw he had a lane. But if you look at it, he's looking up the entire time. I don't know if he's not looking at a running lane, or he would have been out. For me, he's just looking at what wide receiver is open. Let me see what wide receiver I can get to. And if he can make this throw, then I'm going to make the throw. The thing that I'm shocked with is the lack of creativity that they showed in the red zone for those entire 4 downs. Right. Here's the other thing that everybody forgets. The receiver St. Brown. He had the 2-point conversion in his hands that would have made it a 7-point game. He drops the football, and you're going, there it is. There's the game right there. Because
Brady, I believe, had more picks than
right. Green Bay's defense, for all intents and purposes, yes, they gave up 31 points, but they had a good day. You got 3 picks off of Tom Brady in the second half when he's usually money.
Yes.
That's a good day. And, for Matt LaFleur, to me, he shrunk under the pressure. That's the time you go for it. You have perhaps the second best quarterback of this generation. And it's like, really? This is what you do with perhaps the second best quarterback of this generation playing for you? I don't understand that. And honestly, if you're going to play afraid, if you're going to play with fear, if you're not going to play with a sense of purpose, you deserve to lose the football game. That's just me speaking personally.
I agree.
You deserve to lose the football game because at the end of the day, what it shows is you weren't prepared for this moment. You weren't prepared to say, you know what? This is Tom Brady. We got a chance to beat him. I have a chance as a head coach to build my legacy, to put me up there, to get me to a Super Bowl, to get Aaron Rodgers to another Super Bowl. And if you're Aaron Rodgers, how do you just come off the field? How do you not fight him on it? And
he said it wasn't my call.
What is that? You know what that shows too? That shows he wants out of Green Bay. He doesn't care what happens now. He doesn't care what happens next. He doesn't care. You want to make a stupid call like that? By any means, go ahead, make the call, but I want out.
And I don't know if you heard the soundbite from him too, but I heard one where basically, I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, I got to reevaluate the season, got to think things, we got to think things over, like as if he's maybe processing where he's going to go next year. Yeah. Now, he has 2 years left on his deal with Green Bay, but maybe if Green Bay could put a package together.
Listen,
who knows?
They didn't draft Jordan Love for him to sit there for 2 years and not play.
Right. It seems to be a trend in Green Bay where they draft a quarterback to eventually take over one day.
What I'm saying is, and that's smart by them to do that. See, I'm not criticizing that that's not smart. That's smart for them to do that. They did it with Favre, with Rodgers. They're doing it now with Love
Yep.
and Rodgers. That's smart to think ahead like that. But what it also shows is you don't have belief in the guy that's currently your quarterback. That's what that shows me. And if you're Aaron Rodgers, you got to be looking at this going, well, bro, you never gave me a shot. Let's point this out because I was looking up the numbers today, and you can look up the numbers on Pro Football Focus and wherever you get your statistics. Aaron Rodgers, since 2005, which is when he started with the Green Bay Packers, the defenses, with the exception of the 2010 Packers who won the Super Bowl, ranked no lower than 13th, was the average ranking of his defenses. They ranked anywhere from 13th to 25th.
They were bad.
They were bad. So when you look at it from that standpoint, yes, Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback, but what help did you give him defensively? What help did you give him? What did you provide him to say, hey, Aaron, go out there and win the football game? We're going to make sure we have the best defense we can give you so that when you go out there and score, it's not like a meaningless trip.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know the score said they lost by 5, and everybody's going to look at that field goal. But Tampa was up 28-10 fairly quickly early in the third quarter.
Yep. They were just toying with the Green Bay defense. And then that last touchdown before halftime, I mean.
Right.
You kind of knew it was kind of over. I know very early in the game, but did you have that feeling? Or
I kind of looked at it and I was hoping maybe Green Bay wakes up. They come out in the half and they try to get something established. And when you let Tom Brady just literally walk down the field and pick you apart and you don't show any resistance. Now, I know they got the 3 picks and everybody's going to say, well, what about the 3 picks? This is true, but he also threw for almost 400 yards.
Right.
The guy was as proficient as they come. Now, one thing I will say is I know he's happy to go back to Tampa and get on a plane and go play in warm weather because he's like, damn, I don't know if I could deal with this cold weather anymore. Like, you could see it. He's like,
Yeah, it didn't really seem to bother him at all yesterday. All those years in Fox.
Not in the second half. His throws were a little bit. They had some zip on them. They were a little high. He didn't look as comfortable as he did in the first half. But listen, the guy he's great, and I don't think it's a debatable point. Do I feel bad that if this is the way it ends, this is the way it ends for Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, where he didn't even have a shot to write his own story? That kind of sucks. But that is when I would love for him to say, hey, man, let me grab the bull by the horns and let me go out the way I want. If you're gonna get rid of me this year anyway, let me make the final 4th down read. Maybe we score. Maybe the defense gets another pick, and maybe we're going on to the Super Bowl. But the fact that he just walked off the field so meekly and so lifeless and haphazardly, I'm like, yeah, it's a wrap. Because there's no way if you're Aaron Rodgers, if you go back to Green Bay next year, you're not fighting to stay on the field and go, listen, man, you giving me this 4th down. Like, you are giving me this opportunity to get in the red zone. It sucks, man. It really does. It
does.
It's just, it sucks. Speaking of not sucking and not being great at literally everything. So Patrick Mahomes says, "Oh, okay, Buffalo, that was a nice season you had there, but it's time to go home, kids."
I mean,
first of all, how do you stop him? Man, this is a literal question. Because everybody, Tampa's gonna win the Super Bowl. How? How can we say that with such certitude if you can't stop the other dude? because Buffalo had, correct me if I'm wrong, I was looking at Buffalo stats today. Buffalo's defense was ranked in the top 10 in the NFL all year.
Yes.
And they gave up damn near 40 points to this dude. So,
and Tampa Bay's defense is great too. So
yeah,
it could be a problem for Tampa Bay.
could be.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout, though. I can't see that.
Bro, they were playing games and they had damn near 40.
Mahomes just makes people look silly.
Yo, it's like
But the way it started, I'm like, man, is Buffalo going to win this game? But I know you had the gleam in your eye.
I was having Brown flashbacks of the fumble in the end zone, the Buffalo Bills running after it. I started having orange and brown flashbacks. I'm like, that could have been us, Scott.
Yeah.
Oh,
they were awesome yesterday.
And then the helmet to helmet that they called. I'm like, where was this last week? Where was this last week?
God. Brown, you know they ain't calling nothing for the.
Oh, you mother. You know, I mean, it you know, we laugh and we say it as a joke, but
you serious? Come on.
I am.
Stop.
I am. You know, and I kind of, you know, you look at Patrick Mahomes and you realize, bro, he's a dual threat in every sense of the word. He can run, he can throw, and the way he just makes you look stupid at the line with all the schemes they run and Tyreek Hill running a motion to go the other way and this one going that way. And I'm like, well, how do you plan for this dude? You don't. You just pray and hope that he has a bad game.
Yep.
Oh, my God. And listen, the Buffalo Bills scored 24 points, and it felt like an afterthought. Like, you scored 24, that's nice. Like, damn, like, I kind of felt bad for Josh Allen. I really did. I'm like,
yeah, the kid had a year. Kid was awesome.
Had a great year, and then Mahomes just sees you and go, I see you next year, fam.
Yeah, I'm good. No more concussion. I'm good to go.
Yeah, I got a special insole for my turf toe, so I'm not gimping around.
And the extra week's gonna help having the extra.
Yeah, right. Hell yeah. With a mad scientist like Andy, that's what I'm saying. An extra week for both these head coaches to get their game plans. Oh, I'm giddy. I'm giddier than the schoolgirl. I'm like, please, I want to see them score at least 40 each. 40 each. Make me forget that the weekend's performing. I don't even want to hear nothing about the weekend. Can we just talk about football? Because these Super Bowls these last couple of years haven't been that great. So hopefully this one lives up to the advanced billing.
Yeah, I feel like that the past few years, honestly, the NFL playoffs, there hasn't been really great, memorable games. At least that I can really think of. The last one, Super Bowl-wise for me, was the Eagles-Patriots Super Bowl. I mean, besides that Brady lost, and Nick Foles won, which is amazing, but just the game itself was back and forth. There was a heart attack at the end.
Yeah, and you know what? That's what I kind of want that for this game too. Like, let me see. I actually want to see Mahomes in some adversity. Like, I want to see his team down late in the fourth quarter. I want to see him have to come back from. I know he did it in last year's Super Bowl. Listen, Rick, that's a good day. That's a light day. That's them just. That's them realizing, okay, it's a 38 spot, but it's we could have had 50, but we just didn't.
Yeah.
You know, that's how good that football team is. When 38 points is like it's a bad day. It's a quiet day. And you know, it's kind of outrageous, man. You look at them, Edwards-Helaire, they didn't have Le'Veon Bell. The Buccaneers didn't have Antonio Brown.
No,
And both these offenses looked insane. So
They did.
I can't wait. Yes. Super Bowl.
Yeah, I wish the Jets were there, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, nah, I am. I don't care about none of that. Just give me the football. And everybody else.
Yeah, you're back in now. He's back.
Speaking of being back in, this guy over here back into his New York Jets with Deshaun possibly coming to the Big Apple. I'm very. Here's a question I got for you because you're the resident, Jet fan on this show. Right? So I'm curious. If you had a choice, are you going Deshaun? Are you going Deshaun Watson, Allen Robinson, or
I'm gonna sit for a little while.
nah? Josh Allen literally got obliterated yesterday. And
Obliteration.
yeah, and for all the talk of like the Chiefs defense isn't that good, I'm like, Josh Allen was running for his life half the time. Like, he was like, "Can you help me out? Can you help me out?" I'm literally getting run down like a guy. Come on. Nah, but would you rather have Deshaun Watson and
Excuse me.
Chris Godwin and the Allen Robinson, or would you rather have, if it's you, let's say, because I'm hearing Devontae Adams is available in trade. I don't know if you can get Devontae Adams and Deshaun Watson because you got to give up, a king's ransom just to acquire Deshaun. But do you think that Allen Robinson and maybe a Chris Godwin's enough to go with Deshaun, or you think there has to be more stuff that has to be done in order to, get you to the?
Well, I mean, for now, I think that would be insane. If you had two of the best receivers in the league plus Deshaun Watson, one of the best QBs in the league,
yeah,
definitely solid. You could always use another wide receiver and running back because Frank Gore is 90, so that ain't gonna last much
longer. Retire? No, right?
No.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that's coming soon, right?
Yeah.
He's been around 1,000 years.
But I would be stoked, man, if we got because I love Allen Robinson in Chicago and Deshaun Watson. He wants to come here. I mean, I don't know why, but hey, listen, if he wants to come here.
I mean, it is New York City. There's a lot of things.
That's probably why. I think he wants the big stage.
I can't say to New York City if somebody says, listen, and he's already paid. So
yeah, he's gonna have to deal with a ton of pressure, but
oh yeah.
And
You better hope they don't put the fur coat on him too early, or it might end up bad.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm scared of, because the Jets media.
What's up, Big James? How are you, man?
What's up, James?
I hadn't heard that. That's interesting. I hadn't heard that.
All right. I mean, if he wants to stay, we could, use him as long as he,
No, you do need another running back, though. I don't think running backs they have currently.
Oh, my. Yeah, but Chicago ain't going to want to do that either, though. But I would take a Tariq Cohen, too, if he's healthy.
Nah, Chicago ain't doing that. What, you want them to give you their whole team? This guy, bro, he wants the Bears to give up the whole
I would take Nick Foles too. You know me.
I mean, we know that. You throw a parade down the canyon of heroes for Nick Foles. That's hysterical. No, but Deshaun, this was a report by the Miami Herald. He wants to come to New York. That's his top choice. Um, I wouldn't close the door completely on the Saints yet because I think the Saints have a lot to offer. That can be a place that Aaron Rodgers possibly goes if he gets out of Green Bay. I think that's the perfect setup for him if you can make it work. I don't necessarily believe that, Sean Payton's just going to let Jameis Winston be his quarterback. He could, but I don't see that. I do ultimately think that, there are going to be a lot of earth-shattering moves in the NFL. I think New England ends up with a quarterback, whether it is Aaron Rodgers or maybe I know there's some interest in Alex Smith in New England if he wants to play again next year. So I'm very fascinated to see how this quarterback carousel shakes out in the NFL this offseason.
Yeah, there's a lot of unknowns, which is beyond intriguing. So
right.
What's going to happen with Darnold? What's going to happen with Deshaun Watson? And what's going to happen with Mitchell Trubisky? And the list goes on and on. That was a tweet by, I believe, Adam Schefter. And there's all these quarterbacks that are just, we don't really know where they're going to end up next year. And that's the NFL. It's always a drama-filled like the off-season is just as exciting as the
season itself, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm just excited to see where, certain teams like Matthew Stafford's intriguing to me because if Matthew Stafford goes to the right situation, that could be really, really something that I would consider.
That too. Like there's Watson, Rodgers, Stafford, Prescott. Well, I think he ends up back at Dallas.
No, Prescott's going to go back to Dallas and hopefully get a long-term deal from the Cowboys.
Jared Goff, Jimmy Garoppolo, Cam Newton, Teddy Bridgewater, Trubisky, Jameis Winston, Fitzy, Alex Smith, and Roethlisberger, I think, retires.
Right.
In between the Miami game as well as the Cleveland series, just because
that's hard to do. That's hard to do because wait. You said 3rd round pick for what?
They're gonna want more than 3 first-round picks.
3 first-round pick, 1 3rd-round pick for what? Damn. Yeah, I could see that.
I don't want to give up a player.
You might have to, but it might not be as crazy as.
Depending on who it is, I'll be willing to do it.
Yeah, and look, Deshaun, he ain't gonna come cheap. I'll tell you that.
Definitely not.
He ain't gonna come cheap. So you have to be willing to at least part with something that's gonna hurt. And I would see with all the quarterbacks that are available on that list. That's why trading for Deshaun is like a crapshoot because it's like. Do I really want to trade all that for one guy when I could just sign one of these guys as a free agent and like what if I told you could sign Matthew Stafford, you keep your draft picks, you get the draft a wide receiver with the number 2 overall, you don't necessarily have because Matthew Stafford's not going to cost what Deshaun Watson's going to cost you.
No, and I like Stafford, but the only thing he's been injured and stuff. But
right.
maybe a new place maybe could revitalize him.
Right.
That could be a possible option, but I would rather Watson. But it's a lot though to give up.
I just don't like the fact that they're giving all this away because what does it say about your future? Like what if, and in football, injuries are fleeting. You could get hurt extremely quick. Right.
But
you give up all the.
Go ahead.
You give up all these. You give up all these assets and you end up getting hurt. And then all these assets you want to build with, you can't build with now.
Right.
I mean, I hear you, but I don't know. I wouldn't give all that up because I'm not ready to win right now. If you're the Saints, I give up whatever the Texans want to get Deshaun Watson to come to New Orleans. Because they're ready to win right now. You got Michael Thomas, you got
Kamara.
You got the other running back. Deshaun really fits better in New Orleans. I don't see where Deshaun Watson necessarily fits a Jets team that's rebuilding. I don't know. That's just hard for me to fathom.
Right. It could be New York. It could be the new coaching hire.
No, he said I'm impressed with Robert Saleh, and that kind of got his attention because that's who he wants the Texans to hire, and they didn't. So the fact that Saleh is in New York, I think that there's a kinship there between the two of them. I just don't like the idea. And now Woody's back, so I wonder how much of a factor he's going to play in pushing this to get finished, knowing that Deshaun could probably mean I get to print more money than I'm printing already.
Right, and we pointed out on the last show that Woody loved the big splash, so he wants to make a statement or wants to make a big move. I could definitely see that happening.
Right. Speaking of big splashes, what about this monster trade in the NHL over the weekend? My Lord.
Very big trade. I was on Twitter a lot over the weekend, and so the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Fair point. But the things that you would want to put around them, you're limiting your options of what to put around them. You know what I'm saying? Because if we know what Buffalo is, we think we know what they are. They're going to be here for a while. Miami, we kind of know what they are. And the Jets don't feel like they're at that level yet. I know Deshaun's a proven commodity, but Deshaun's going to have the same issue Sam Darnold's been having. Who am I throwing to? Allen Robinson is a nice wide receiver, but he's not in the top echelon of receivers in the NFL. Would you consider him a number one wide receiver on, let's say he was out of Chicago? Put him in New Orleans. He's a better wide receiver than Michael Thomas? Probably not, right?
Who?
Allen Robinson.
He's up there.
I gotta look at it. I'll look at his numbers and I'll give my assessment after I take a look at his numbers. But you can find a late running back first round. We can also maybe. I've seen this movie from Jeff fans before. We get all optimistic about one player, one trade, and then it doesn't work out, and then your future's not salvageable.
That's
And then
the
you're
only
like,
risk.
why did we do this when we could have gone the conventional route and did it the right way?
But then again, the other side of the argument is Jet drafts never really pan out anyway.
This is true. You're not wrong about this.
It is a
This
crap
is true.
either way.
Yeah, either way you go, you feel like, I think we just
Like I
we just killed it
understand
all.
your point, and James is also, but
Right.
Joke of a QB, you mean Trubisky, because Foles was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't know. I don't necessarily.
He was awesome. He's definitely at that level, I feel like, of a number one wide receiver, no doubt.
Then if you feel that way, then sign him. If that's the way that people perceive him around the league, then that's a good move to me. I'm just, I don't know. I just hope it works out well for you guys.
No, I know, but it's scary. It is because that thing in the back of your mind, you're like, how will this work out? Like it looks amazing on paper, like Deshaun Watson, but I don't know.
Right. Who knows?
That's really that's what I'm thinking. Like whatever happens, and
right.
Can't do nothing about it. Like whatever they're gonna do, we'll have to wait and see how that's gonna go.
Right. Speaking of whatever they do and how things are gonna go, getting back to this trade.
Yes, this is a really big trade.
Give me your impressions, bro. Break this down for me.
So for the people who don't follow the NHL like I do. So the Columbus Blue Jacket, so the Blue Jackets and the Winnipeg Jets made a trade. To the Blue Jackets, they got Jack Roslovic, who actually is from Columbus, which is pretty cool. Comes back home. And he also played his college hockey at Miami, Ohio. So local kid. And Patrick Laine, who was arguably one of the best forwards. What's up, Ange? Patrick Laine, you know Stefan, one of the best elite goal scorers in the league.
Yeah.
And it's funny how hip GM of Columbus, Jarmo Kekalainen, and him are both from Finland. They kind of have that connection because he worked in Finnish hockey, and Patrick Laine played, of course, for Finland, like in the World Juniors and things like that, other international tournaments. And to the Winnipeg Jets, they received Pierre-Luc Dubois and a third. I gotta say, with French, he's from Montreal, so gotta do it right. And a third-round pick.
You said that accent with some flavor, Pierre-Luc Dubois.
Oh, Luc Dubois, you gotta say. I mean, first of all, on the Columbus side of it,
So, before you get deep into your analysis, would you say that this is a win-win for both teams?
absolutely. I don't think – because that was a big question over the weekend, like who won this trade. I don't think you can really say that yet. I think as of now, like it's a win-win. And I'll share some stats too in a sec, but it's a win-win. Columbus, you're getting a solid player in Roslovic. Laine, who's an elite player, but so is Pierre-Luc Dubois. He's not at Laine level, but he's up there. He's very close. Like Laine's here, but Pierre-Luc Dubois is, the camera. A lot of laughing today. This is good. And a third-round pick. So
that's a hell of a lot going both ways.
Right?
Listen, this is the type of trade that is going to get the novice hockey fan to go, hold up. They're doing trades like this, so we like 10 games in? Sign me up.
But think about, and now by division, like the stars you have, like in the Canadian division, you got Austin Matthews, Pierre-Luc Dubois. Like,
do me a favor, guys, share the show. Let people know we're live.
Yeah, share it. Keep commenting.
Yeah,
please.
We got a lot to get through tonight. This is gonna be it's still got a lot to get through. Keep going, big dog. I just want to make sure that people know.
And I want to share some stats with you. And so Jack Roslovic, 4 years, all were with Winnipeg, 180 games played, 26 goals, 41 assists, 67 points. That's solid. That's really solid. Patrick Laine, 5 years with Winnipeg, ready for this, 306 games played, 140 goals, 110 assists, and 250 points, which is amazing. And Pierre-Luc Dubois, 239 games played, 66 goals, 93 assists, and 159 pints. So this is definitely a win-win there. And I think for both of these teams, I could say, well, I already had both of them playoff teams anyway, but Columbus, they might challenge, like they're going to be up there with the Dallases, the Tampa Bays.
Can they challenge Vegas?
Well, if they get that far, we'll have to wait and see. But just go by division. You're in the same division as Tampa and Dallas.
MP, what's up, brother?
What's up?
I hear your frustrations, man. I hear you.
The Rangers, they're gonna have some growing pains the next few years. They're building towards something, but it's gonna be a rough few more years.
Listen, but if you're a
Very
Ranger,
young team.
if you're a Ranger fan, MP, how do you feel about you building, knowing your organization is heading to a certain trajectory? Now I know it doesn't feel good watching them lose and you're having rough nights some nights and they don't look like they're all that competitive. But to know that you have John Davidson in your front office and you're building something, you have to feel good if you're a Ranger fan to some degree.
I don't know about firing him already. I mean, he just got there a couple of years ago. It's going to take time. Maybe go ahead, Stefan. You got the
it feels like when you're that young. I'm glad you know me well.
See that, you know.
We've been doing this a while, folks. It's hard for me to say I'm going to fire a head coach that is still trying to help this team build an identity. This team hasn't really built its identity yet. I feel like they're working through. They acquired some players. You got the kid Lafreniere, the kid that they just drafted.
Yeah, Lafreniere, you got it.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to give this time to get all the way right. You got to figure out your goalie situation too. You got to see what you got there.
You got two solid goalies, although they're young and they're gonna make mistakes. But
yeah, but I'd rather have young guys with upside that I can grow with. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what Ranger fans have been yelling. We got to get away from the Stepans. We got to get away from the Hanks. We got to get younger. Here it is. It's your chance to get younger. Now you have to go through the growing pains of what Big Dog's been through for years with the young Islander teams in the mid 2000s that were really bad, but showed flash
2010s. But now you kind of seen them progress and look.
There you go.
He had a tough game yesterday, but can't put all the blame on him. But you got Noah Dobson. Kiefer Bellows is finally up with the first team.
Right.
So, you know.
Listen, rebuilding is never fun. That's why it's called rebuilding. You're rebuilding. So it's not a fun thing to do when you have to rebuild and you go from being one of the premier teams in the NHL for maybe the better part of a 7-8 year period.
Right.
To now you're rebuilding. It's never fun. However, I think what it does do, it does show that the organization has vision. They do have an identity. They know what they want the team to look like and feel like. So if you're Ranger fans, just sit back, give it a little while, and I'll say this: Jim Dolan, who owns the Islanders and the
you mean the Rangers and Knicks?
The Rangers and the Knicks. I'm sorry. He's gonna cut the check. You know that. Jim Dolan's going to spend the money he got to spend to get a winner in Madison Square Garden on the hockey side. The Knicks side, I'm not.
See, I wish it was the opposite. I wish he was more involved with the hockey and, you know, less involved with the basketball. All right, James. You see, listen, we whooped you guys 4-1 the other night, so don't start.
All right. No, but
I mellowed out. All right.
Get back to this. Yeah, James, you're full of you know what.
Shite. All right.
No, get back to this trade a second. This trade feels like it worked out extremely well for both teams. Extremely well for both teams.
And now already Columbus has that playoff mentality. I feel like because you have the experience as much as me and you hate the guy just because the way he goes about coaching, but he is a great coach in Torts.
Yeah, he's a douche though.
Big time.
Yeah.
You have a solid defense. You have a goalie, great goalie in Korpisalo. And now you have the offense like this where already you had scoring. You had some trouble scoring though, even with Pierre-Luc Dubois. But now Laine and Roslovic, Columbus may be a force to be reckoned with. They could possibly make a deep run. Now, you're going to have to, if you're Columbus, you're going to have to get through Dallas and Tampa Bay first.
Oh, I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
James, listen, I'm all good for a little friendly banter back and forth. Listen, we are playing each other 8 times this year, so the rivalry may just come back. The trash talking, James, like back in the day when we were in school, they might come back. I
You're
can
setting
think
it up,
we
big
got
dog.
6 more games against you guys. So
He's setting it up. He's setting it up. I hear you. No, but I feel like both these teams are now on a playoff trajectory, and it's about how much better they
even
can get.
more now, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
the Jets, too, have always been a consistent playoff team, but felt like there was always something missing. And I mean, look, Line was there, but now I think with a guy like Pierre-Luc Dubois and then now a supporting cast, like you don't have a, how do I say, not to again, like I mentioned, Pierre-Luc Dubois is a superstar, but not like a Line or something
right.
like that. But I think that kind of helps them where everything evens out because it was like and then other, you know what I'm saying? And
I'll make this comparison and tell me if I'm off my rocker for doing so. We've always talked about how great the Maple Leafs are, but the Maple Leafs feel very top heavy. Where this trade, I feel like, is even. Both rosters now have pieces that fit what they're trying to accomplish. Where, you know what? I don't know if I'm wrong for saying this, but I feel like Kyle Dubas should take some of this and go, listen, I got to make a trade. I got to get this roster evened out.
Absolutely.
Because I'm not even, and I have a lot of injuries. What do you think about that?
Totally. I mean, we've been saying it for a while with Dubas. Like, if you want the Maple Leaf fans to trust you and believe in you, like, as great as getting Tavares was and re-signing Nylander, well, I didn't really agree with that, but you know, not that he's not talented, but just with the whole holdout and everything. But
right,
they need defense. You cannot win based on just scoring. You can't. So in this division's, I mean, look at what Montreal is tearing it up. Your biggest rival. That doesn't look good on you. So if you're Dubas, you got to think, all right, I got to make a big move to compete with Montreal right now. Because now in your division too, the Jets just made a big trade. You know, Calgary is still really good. Ottawa's going to give you fits this year. Edmonton, I think they're very overhyped beyond belief, but they still have talent. And there's Vancouver. So this Canadian division and look, even me, I said it too from the jump. I kind of was like, yeah, Toronto's probably going to run away with it. But now with seeing Montreal, you know, and going to the West Coast, mind you, they've been on the West Coast, you know, which is never easy for an East Coast team. And then now this trade with Winnipeg getting Dubois. What? I gotta go Dubois.
It definitely creates some intrigue. There's no doubt about that.
And I haven't done the accents in a while, so I've been missing it. I gotta go back to that.
Hey, buddy, chill, bro. Chill.
Yo, James, come on now. Come on. We started.
We're trying to give other teams love, and you got to bring it back to the locals. All right, I'm trying to expand.
Trying to ignite the rivalry. This guy, he's being an instigator.
Yeah, don't do that. I don't know. You know, the two teams that I feel like are going to do something like this next, and I don't report on hockey much. I don't have many connections. It's just an instinctual feel. If I had to guess, I'm going to go with Toronto as one team. I think they make a move. I don't know how big it is, but I think they get some reinforcements in there. Jumbo Joe's out of a month, and they got some injuries. They're a little bit banged up, so I think they figure that out. The other team I'm going to look at, though, I think the St. Louis Blues. I think they make a move. I think they've been in discussions about doing some stuff. I think they would be intriguing if, you know, a player like PK Subban became available or something of that ilk. They could.
After losing Pietrangelo, imagine PK and Torrey Krug.
Yeah, so they They've had discussions about what they would do internally if they could get something done. I think that would be interesting.
And now that
What do
has
you
to
think?
do with James's Devils if they're willing to give Subban up.
Now, I don't see. That's why I said that's an if, and how good the Devils are going into the middle stages and getting closer to the deadline. If the Devils still feel like we're in it, we're going to be productive, and most of our players are going to help us contribute, then I think they hold on to whoever they have. However, I don't necessarily believe it's all that shocking to see the Devils do something depending on where they are at the deadline.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be – this season has been intriguing already and wild as it is, and this trade only made it more crazy. It's going to be fun. And, yeah, both teams definitely won this trade. No doubt about it. But, yeah,
Speaking of-
St. Louis, too, just one more note. They should do something. Although I think they're definitely a playoff team, but you're going to have to go through Vegas to make a Stanley Cup final or a conference final. So and Vegas has been – they just won 3 out of 4 against Arizona. They only have 1 loss. They're hot right now.
Very much so. Speaking of hot right now and things that are hot right now, I just got a DM from somebody. Trevor Bauer's market is heating up, and we could have a decision as early as Thursday. From what I'm hearing, it's down to the Mets and Blue Jays for the services of Trevor Bauer.
Interesting.
If this is true, Big Dog, how far are you willing to go with Trevor Bauer?
I don't know. That could put us potential. I think we're already a World Series team, but that would really put us over the top.
Are you worried about his social media antics in the city? Are you worried about all that? Or you
The off the field, because you know how I feel about that. I'm kind of concerned. That's the only thing with him. But he is very talented. He's one of the best pitchers in the league, and the Mets could use another pitcher. Why not? Even though we just got Carrasco also in that field, but
augment the rotation with a Trevor Bauer, Noah, Jacob deGrom, Cookie Carrasco, and Noah Syndergaard when he gets back. That's a hell of a top four
because he's been struggling as a starter the past few years. That's
a hell of a top four. That's a hell of a top four to throw out every couple of days. And look, everybody in the National League is being uber competitive. The Nationals just signed Brad Hand, who was in conversations with the Mets, so I think that augments their bullpen. This guy's the guy to answer that. He's our resident hockey expert on the show.
The expansion draft system, I really don't have a problem with it. I mean, I thought it was great that they were Stanley Cup contenders in their first year. I don't. Why do you have a problem with it specifically? I'm curious. Just because that they made it the first year? Because the players they got, I mean, in all fairness and speaking honestly, that weren't great players. Now you had, of course, Marc-Andre Fleury. You had James Neal, who's another vet who's been in the league a while, and Marsha. So, you had solid guys, second, third liners, but nothing really that was quite amazing. But it just so happened that, and I think too, part of that season was the unfortunate shooting that year. That month, actually, a couple weeks before the season started, the shooting in Vegas at that concert, which was horrific, and gathered, and the team really the team was embraced by the city, and I guess
this feels very like
for the city.
Right. This feels like similar to what happened with the Boston bombing and the Red Sox in 2013.
Right.
The city kind of embraced them and wanted them to be great, and it's good that the city wants that because if you're a player, you feel that from the fans. Like,
Yeah,
we've
and
been
the
through
Bruins
it.
made the Cup final that year. The Red Sox, as you mentioned, won the World Series. So
Right.
absolutely,
Speaking of
and they're
Red
also
Sox,
run very well too by George McPhee. So who was with the Capitals all those years, drafted Ovi. And now with Seattle this year, that's really the one thing too that us as hockey fans are gonna have to look at. Now, I'm curious too. I was already, because I'm nuts, thinking about it, who the Islanders gonna give up and not protect to go into the expansion draft. Now, it's probably not gonna be anyone severe that will really need, because start from scratch when starting a franchise, shouldn't be gifted a good team, right? I hear you. I get that argument. Absolutely. That was just the team in a year that everything came together and that happened. That really was not expected though. And now it's funny.
Right.
Everyone is expecting the Seattle Kraken to do the same thing and be in the
It
Stanley.
doesn't usually work out like that. You usually got to go through some growing pains first.
Absolutely. And it's crazy. Vegas has been in the playoffs every single year and only get better and better. And I'm going to tell you something. Like, Stefan is a sweetheart of a dude. He's kind. He's all good things. But when it comes to sports management, if he was a GM, and I'm just going to say it, and I don't think he's ruthless. He don't care. If he's willing to make a move to win at any cost, not any cost like cheat, but I'm saying if he has there's a player out there and he's like, you know what? I'll even trade one of my star players for another star player just to see. Like, if we didn't win with this guy, screw him. He's out. And Stefan would trade him away and that's what Vegas has been doing. And now I think definitely, and it was funny, they brought up, who do you think Vegas will not protect? Who do you think, if you had to guess one guy on that team?
Pacioretty.
Really? I thought you were gonna say Fleury, because that's what they were saying. Imagine they don't protect.
I mean, the agent did put the knife through his.
Yeah, and it's crazy because he was the face of the franchise. He was the first ever player they picked.
Right, but the reason why I say Pacioretty is because there's been trade rumors around him for the last couple of weeks, like heavy, intense trade rumors with him. So, and look, all right, somebody proposed this nuts idea to me. I won't say who it is because I'm not inclined to, but it's like, yo, would you take John Tavares and do a straight up John Tavares for Max Pacioretty, send Tavares to Vegas? Bring Pacioretty to Toronto and let Pacioretty grow with that group of guys. And I kind of did the double take. I was like, well, wow. So I asked you, big dog, is that something you consider? If you're Vegas, do you consider running John Tavares and see if you get him to? Now, granted, John Tavares does he have a no trade? I don't believe he does.
I'm not
100%
sure on that. I have to look that up.
But if he doesn't, and you're Vegas, do you think he would fit well in Vegas with the team they have?
I think he would. Another superstar player who can put up points and goals and assists. He's been doing it with the Islanders. He's been doing it with Toronto. He's been doing awesome. And just Pacioretty, though, being a former Canadian, being in a Maple Leaf jersey, that would look really, really weird. But listen, if that's a trade, and honestly, I don't know why now Tavares is on that Pacioretty. I think he's better than Pacioretty. So you might have to look at that. Yeah, I would absolutely think about making that trade.
I thought the same thing. I did the double take at first because I'm like, wait, what the hell?
And number two, all of his goals so far have been on the power play. So that's one guy too you can use on the man advantage.
Right.
Tavares, I think, would fit in really well. Right. He probably wouldn't like it because he would want to stay in Toronto, I'm sure. But I mean, and you have a golden opportunity, not on the pun, golden, golden Knights, but that would be a really great chance to win a cup. It's always been a little overrated see him get awarded the best goalie of the decade in the 2010s I mean, he did win 3 Stanley Cups, Fleury. Fleury won, and 2 of them were as a backup. But
I mean, 3 Stanley Cups and three Stanley Cups, my man. It's hard to win 3 of anything in this
I
league.
hate Lundqvist as an Islander fan, but the guy, of course, is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's definitely like top 3 goalies of the 2010s.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
He might be the second best goalie in the history.
The championships matter.
He might be the second best goalie in the history of the Rangers, behind Richter and the guy literally stood on his neck for like 90 seasons and was great.
Yep.
Speaking of being great or not being great, stuff is starting to happen in baseball. I want to get these things because I want your reaction to some of this stuff. So, Yankee fans are they're panicking. They're like, "Oh my God, we're shopping at Amazing Savings. We should be shopping at Lehman Marcus." I don't understand this. So
here we
they
go.
Bring back they bring back DJ LeMahieu. Everybody wanted them to bring back DJ LeMahieu.
Okay,
we got DJ. Okay. That's a good point, Razor. That's a good point. So everybody, DJ's back, and then they go sign Kluber, and I'm like, okay, this is. I want to see where this goes. Is Corey Kluber's health a bit of an issue for me? Yes, but if Corey Kluber's healthy, Corey Kluber's perhaps one of the most dependable starting pitchers on the market. Is he going to give you 200 innings? Probably not. Not at this stage of his career. But the move for me that I got excited about was the Jameson Taillon trade yesterday. I'm like, you know what? 29 with upside. Yes, it's 2 Tommy Johns. It's a bit of a gamble. I don't know how he's going to respond to the second one, because usually one Tommy John is kind of, usually come back and you don't have to get it again. He got it again. So people in baseball, they're high on this trade because this guy is a mid-90s fastball, solid off-speed stuff, and he's only 29, and you get paying him big dog. They're paying him less than $3 million this year and less than $2 million next year. They're barely paying him anything. And if he turns out to be something and you unlock whatever's in there, you got him for virtually nothing. So listen, Yankee fans, just
stop complaining. Stop complaining, Yankee fans. Jesus. Oh my God.
Wait a second.
I have to say
Brian Cashman he's shown you before. These are the type of moves he makes. He's not, if he knows I'm not going to go spend crazy on a Trevor Bauer, I'm not going to spend crazy on this one or that one. Brian Cashman's very selective with the moves he makes. Now, here's one thing that I found interesting with all this. Dougie! What's going on, Doug?
What's up, Doug? Yeah.
I found interesting that they wanted to go get Jameson Taillon and Joe Musgrove. They wanted to do both. They couldn't get both done, but they wanted to do both, which leads you to believe they're probably going to go get another starting pitcher at some point, probably in the next couple of weeks. What's up, Dougie? How are you, man? They're going to go get another starting pitcher in the next couple of weeks. Let me just point this out. They traded Adam Ottavino today to the Red Sox, and I know Yankee fans are like, you had to trade him there.
That's religious, though. How do you trade with the Red Sox?
First of all, he didn't pitch that well, and they needed, if Boston, see, this is the type of trade I would make.
Yeah, you don't care about the rivalries like I do.
If you're
You
willing to take
can,
off
but
the
you
11
can
million,
make a trade with a team, I think, regardless.
I would. Like, if you're willing to take this $11 million off my hands so I can go make more moves and make my team better, I'm doing it. I'm trading out of Vito. Like, hell yeah, take the 11 million and I'm out. I'm running. Like, that's why that was a great move by Cashman. Well, no, I do think the Mets go get a outfielder. Though I do think that they do that. If the Bauer thing is real, and Big Dog's gonna get excited by this. If the Bauer thing is real, to go back to the Mets a second, and then I just want to make one final Yankee point, and then we're moving on. That would be absolutely insane, and here's why it becomes insane. Because now I'm hearing he only wants like a 2-year deal. If you get him at 2 years and $70 million and he pitches well, and you could say I made a 2-year investment and it was smart,
Right.
you're not tied down to crazy financial restrictions. That would be crazy. And here's the thing that Big Dog might actually run around and do jumping jacks in his room. The two teams, and this is informed speculation, I heard this earlier today from somebody. Chris Bryant, if he's traded in this offseason, the two teams that would be looking to trade from, the Toronto Blue Jays and the New York Mets. Steve Cohen is a huge Chris Bryant fan. All I'll say is, oh my Lord.
Dude.
I can't. Oh, that would be.
Listen, because this just popped into my head now. This coming fall, just imagine the Mets in a World Series. The Jets, if they get Deshaun Watson, Allen Robinson, the team actually looks somewhat. And the Islanders of Belmont. Oh my God.
He's dreaming. Look at him.
Oh, that would be amazing for Jet Met Islander fans, right, Dougie? That'd be a dream.
No, this guy he'd be running circles around he'd be happy. But listen, the Bauer thing to the Mets feels crazy interesting. I don't think the Yankees are done either. I think New York City baseball is okay. It's okay. I think we're all right in this.
Unlike the football, but
no.
Now I'm.
Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, if you could get Jackie Bradley Jr. for cheap, do it. Do it. Go put JBJ in the outfield. Today, go do that.
That day.
Today.
That day.
All right, Joe Jr.
Oh, Joe B, we miss you because the other two on that station, they gotta go.
Nah, see, I would be scared.
All right, a lot of trash talk tonight. That's all right.
Nah, I'd be scared to play the Mets in the World Series. I can't front. I don't want no smoke with that Rodon fan. Nah. No fumado. That's no spoken Spanish. No fumado. I don't want none of that. Now with that rotation, Bauer, Syndergaard, DeGrom, Stroman is your number 5. I'm out. No, JBJ, yeah. Jackie Bradley Jr. I'd do that right now. If I'm the Mets to play center field. Real interesting. We're going to get into a part of the show now. Yeah. He's not wrong. He's not wrong because I'm sick of watching Chapman blow big games in the playoffs. I'm done
Yeah,
with it.
did that and that. Oh my god.
I mean, just I'm sick of Chapman. I really am. I really am. I wanted to get into the story that we mentioned today on the group chat because I want Big Dog to be able to vent his frustrations throughout this whole process. So, Big Dog, I'm gonna set you up. I'm gonna tee it up for the fans, and then I want you to go to town on this because I think this is garbage. This is garbage. So, NBC Universal, they're shutting down their sports operations beginning, I believe, what did it say, Big Dog? March?
Oh, I thought, I don't know, they were talking on the K show like right after the Olympics this summer. They're shutting NBC
Okay, so
down.
this is true. This is true. But I think all right, if and what I mean by this is true, I heard the same thing you did, Big Dog. I thought I misread March, but I heard um that they were having discussions about doing it before the end of but when the Olympics happen. Now, what does this mean? Why is it such a big deal? Well, the NHL is about to enter an agreement with ESPN. Now, let me be very, very forthright in saying the NHL wants full exclusive rights to a ESPN Plus package, not just the ESPN regular networks. They want a full ESPN package that's games centered around ESPN Plus. They put big games on there. They want to put everything on there. Yeah, they are. They're losing money. The pandemic really, really put a hurting on MMP, and so they had it. They want to cease operations, but the soccer thing is the thing that has me like, what the hell are you doing, Big Dog? Do you want to expand on this further? Because I'm
All right.
this is flabbergasted to me.
I've ranted about this before on the show, but
Nah,
but
but give me some context before you start ranting. Bring me in a little more. Because I knew there was new reporting that was out there in the weekend that Peacock would have the majority of the games. And
right, that's what, because I reached out to you. I was like, have you heard anything? And you told me that's a possibility where now they would play games on NBC, like regular NBC, but or on the USA Network too, like the sports mate will go to that channel. But the Premier League exclusively is only going to be on Peacock. And that drove me insane. Now I'm hoping they put like big games actually on TV and don't, chip the public out of watching, Man U, Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, whatever, games like that of that magnitude. But the direction soccer is going, if the Gary Thorne must come. Oh my God, absolutely.
And by the way, Gary Thorne just got fired by the Orioles, so he's looking for work right now.
Come on back. Yeah, and then the theme song again. Oh, I'm gonna weep. But I hope I hope the NHL comes back to ESPN. It deserves it, man. It's a big time sport. It deserves to be on ESPN. But on the soccer front, soccer is going in a direction where everyone, especially here in the States, like it's got to get, like we're in the right spot, but it's got to get bigger. It's got to get bigger. We got to grow more. And they're doing okay with that.
Yeah. And their IPs, their intellectual properties are also losing money. So that's another reason why they're going the direction in which they're going.
I didn't know that.
IP,
So I guess maybe this season they're going to put some NHL stuff on Peacock too.
yes.
Well, they already have games too. I've been watching on ESPN Plus, so that's good.
No, but they want their own like announcers. They want to put like They want to have their own whole setup on ESPN.
Yeah, nah. But
Because honestly, we're all going streaming anyway. I think cable TV is dead. In the next 5 to 7 years, is dead. So we're all gonna realize that streaming TV is right. So this is why if I'm a cable network, I'm scared because the streaming's how we're gonna live from now on. It's cable TV is gonna be extinct when it comes to these sporting events. You see it with the UFC, you see it with all these different conglomerate brands. Streaming is what makes the majority of the money.
right.
So, and I know you don't like that because you still like games on your cable network, and you like to see games on your cable network. But I do think it's going to change, and it's going to change rather quickly.
It will. That's just unfortunate for people maybe who can't get it or won't be able to access it. I think they should still have. I know eventually down the line, because the future, it's always expanding. And like you said, we will probably get to a point. There'll be no more cable boxes, no more direct TV, no more Fios. Like you'll have to have like a Peacock app or a NFL Sunday Ticket app instead of paying through direct TV for that. But I just don't like that they're doing this now, especially also too with the fact that you're still on cable TV. The thing that bothers me, you're still on cable TV. It's not full streaming yet, but you're playing games or you're showing games that are big, monumental, and you're showing them on your streaming service instead of like NBC.
Yeah, because they realize that streaming is the way that they're gonna. These networks are always trying to be progressive in how they grow. So it sucks for somebody that can't get it, but eventually we're all gonna have to come to an agreement that streaming is gonna get the majority of the lion's share of the business. Now it sucks for the person that can't pay for the streaming service that is going to that has cable that wants to see it on regular cable or regular TV, but and I know all these leagues are about money. It's all about the money,
especially
whatever brings them
all of them.
Right.
But I just wish, like, in terms, I know I complained to you about this when it happened a couple of years ago when the World Cup moved from left ESPN and now is on Fox, which I really hate. But it is what it is. They signed a big contract with them. The Champions League isn't even on ESPN. It's not like it was getting smaller and smaller. Like it was on ESPN. Then it was on Fox. Then it was on TNT. Now it's on the CBS Sports Network, which it is a cable channel, but they don't show live games. You have to, again, stream every game. Like it's a pain. So it's just super frustrating. Like you're trying to grow the sport, but that's kind of a problem when you're not showing actual games on TV.
Yeah, but TV, if you read the signs, cable TV as we know it is about to be extinct. Because nobody sits there and says, oh, let me just spend my time watching cable TV. What are we all doing? Streaming Netflix, streaming this, streaming that. Everything's going to a streaming service. So it's kind of like, okay, this is what we're doing. Then we might as well get with the program because Netflix is doing it. Hulu is doing it. You have the WWE Network who Peacock just bought. Crazy enough. They just entered an agreement with them. So, streaming it's the way of the world, man. As unfortunate as it is, you're going to get to a point where this is going to be how we consume sports and television moving forward.
Yep.
I know it's frustrating for you because you're an old-fashioned guy. You don't like the technology.
I mean, I do. I've been figuring things out with the apps but it's, the apps.
Listen, but you You rather sit with the remote in your hand, put the game on, and leave it at that. You're an old man, admit it.
Yeah. But I will say certain streaming services are nice though, like Hulu, Amazon Pro, like it offers a lot. So
Right.
and like ESPN Plus is amazing. So, but hopefully
Right.
Peacock will do like if they then you got to do it justice, like have a lot of other things too along with the games, like certain shows or certain I don't know, just try and
Like specials. Yeah, I get you.
specials and right like ESPN Plus has.
I get you. Yeah, but I know this fires you up because you're like,
And more than anything, I mean, as long as they keep all the white on there, I'm good. Rebecca Lowe and all the pundits I enjoy every weekend with the Premier League. I'm good.
right.
I do miss it on ESPN, but I love the people on NBC. So, but just just the World Cup and Champions League, like two of the biggest tournaments. Like I don't know, it aggravates me. Like the streaming services they're on, the stations, like it just.
I mean, that's them realizing that cable TV as a whole is not what it once was. So that's why you're seeing a lot of.
You know what? I'm really surprised though that ESPN, being the worldwide leader in sports, you would think they would want to somehow keep the World Cup and the UEFA Champions League. Like those are two.
See, but that's a misnomer too, because ESPN just got rid of like some of its most remarkable fate. Like Tom Rinaldi's been at ESPN for years. He's at Fox now. They got rid of a lot of great guys, and you're like, what's happening here? But ESPN's kind of been slipping since, I want to say for the last 4 or 5 years. It hasn't been the same. They become like the TMZ of sports. Like if it's not popular, we ain't gonna talk about it. Which sucks because it dilutes what your brand is. You're not the worldwide leader.
Shows suck, except Get Up. That's their best show, but every other show is a joke on there. I mean, of course, SportsCenter is classic, although they should talk more hockey and soccer, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But yeah, First Take is garbage. Max Kellerman's a bum.
I'm not doing all that.
That guy, how he has a job in sports, I really will never understand it in my lifetime, but okay. Same with Skip Bayless. But let's not go off topic.
It's frustrating, man, because you don't get the same quality content you would on a regular.
Like commentators and like it's I don't know. It's
right.
Like with soccer, you want like certain people to, you know what I mean? Certain commentators doing the games and that feel like you get.
Honestly, Gary
Fox, it just was not the same.
That's because they're doing it for the money, not doing it. A lot of this is just money driven. Just I don't know. It hurts too because the fan experience also changes because now you got to find the games, you got to go look for them, you got to search and you got to see where the games are being played, and it's a little harder to do now if you're a fan that wants to get into sports. It makes your job a little bit harder, but speaking of fans and all this stuff, yesterday, I can't believe I'm getting ready to say the sentence. Yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of Kobe Bryant's passing, which is just
crazy.
Insane.
I'm really
yeah, R.I.P. Black Mamba, but
yes.
There was an interesting story in The Athletic on how LeBron James and Anthony Davis are not over his death still. They still talk about it. They still think about it. They still, you know what I mean? It's just, that whole Laker organization still rocked by his death. The whole NBA as a whole, it's still rocked by his death. And, they say time heals all wounds, and eventually it might, but it's still so raw by what people see, and it's like you wish it didn't happen that way. So,
Oh,
thoughts and prayers to the Bryant family and
absolutely.
Laker Nation. I mean, I know you're missing Kobe, but the team you got on the court right now, they doing him proud because LeBron and AD. Listen, I think LeBron he made a side deal somewhere along the way because his brother's 36, still still doing it to people. So, um, damn, can't believe it's a year though, man. That's
I know.
crazy. But that is gonna wrap us up. Thank you guys for watching. This was a fun show. We'll be back Thursday, 6:30 p.m. You know, same bad time, same bad channel. Two same guys.
Also, too, before we go, a big firing in the Premier League today.
Oh yeah, I got questions for this. I did some research.
Yeah. Frank Lampard being fired by Chelsea. His job only lasted 19 months. Thomas Tuchel, who was recently the PSG manager, he will replace Lampard at Chelsea. What are your questions there, my friend?
Do you think they waited too long to do this?
Maybe because it's not a long time they gave him, but at the same time, I think things were going down really downhill, and they probably should have did it sooner. And it's crazy. Like last year, they were runners up in the FA Cup. They ended up fourth in the Premier League, but now currently they're ninth in the Premier League. Through 19 games, they have 8 wins, 5 draws, and 6 losses, which really isn't great. Just they thought they wanted him really to mold the young players that were coming in last year, like Tammy Abraham, Christian Pulisic, Eden Hazard, who was their superstar player, just left. So they're like, all right, let's rebuild this and that. But from what I was reading, I read an article on ESPN. Chelsea really didn't view this guy as like a long-term anyway, because he didn't think he can maximize and get the most out of like the veterans, especially like the Timo Werners that they just signed and other big-time names that they have.
If this is true, then why'd you make the hire in the first place?
Former Chelsea legend, so that's why.
Yeah, but you got to read the room and know where you are. No, like
No,
if you know this guy's not going to be here for a long time.
His managerial job was at Derby County, which is a lower league team in England. It's not like he had Premier League experience, coaching, playing. Yeah, but and again, we know in American sports that doesn't always work when you hire like a great player of your past of your organization. So it's the same for Frank Lampard. Not that great a manager.
It's kind of crazy, man.
It is.
Kind of crazy.
And we'll definitely, like I said last show, we'll definitely be talking more soccer as now football's kind of going away a little, although let's face it, it never really does because there's always something going on. But
right
on the new Saturday show, when that will start, I'll definitely have some more soccer stuff for you guys.
Soon.
Yes, very soon.
We're gonna talk about that. We should have a formal announcement on the show pages in the coming weeks for you guys. Not even in the coming weeks, probably. I want to say in the coming days. I got to talk to this guy and get some stuff figured out. And we'll be back Thursday, man.
Better than ever.
Maybe 6:30 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, you know it. Have you seen, by the way, Greeny's been giddy on Get Up. He's like, oh my God, the show. What? He was telling Adam Schefter, like, please don't mess with my emotions right now. Like, I'm fragile. Like, do not destroy my dreams. And of course, Schefter, don't get your hopes up, Greeny. So, And he's like, you just ruined it for me.
Sounds like me. Sounds like me and you.
It does. 100%. Later, guys. This was fun, Stefan. I'll call you in a bit. This was awesome.
All right, man. Later.
Later.